Well, of course, we'll be having a delegation to meet the team, the PM, Prime Minister, yes, of course, and he's the parliamentary rep for CASTRIES East and of Masha, and the Minister of Youth Development and Sports, that's Kenson Kazime, parliamentary rep for Gros Islet. They are down to meet the teams, so I'm calling on the district rep for CASTRIES East, and of course our Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. Pierre. He'll be, well, I think he's upstairs, that's what I've been told. He'll be coming down to meet the teams. The first 11 for Gros Islet. Number 6, we have Sherman Augustine. Number 3, Stanley Cherry. In goal, number 77, we have Giovanni Di Turville. Number 15 is Brandon Eugene. Number 10, Jalil Evans. Aramis Gilbert wearing in number 17. Troy Greenwich with the number 9. Raphael Joseph wearing in number 8. Sebastian Ribot with the number 5. Wearing the number 2. Riddle Stanislas. Well, transformation there from Dennery. Big up to Riddle Stanislas. And of course, number 12 is O'Neill Toussaint. Head coach is Francis Lastic. Assistant coach, Darren Gaspar. Equipment manager, we have Elijah Joseph. The manager is Romario Lindor. Goalkeeper coach, that is Zane Stephen. Assistant equipment manager, we have Danny Williams. And the physio, we have Chris William August. First 11 for South CASTRIES. Number 12, we have Chad Alfred. Number 1, Maynard Antoine. Number 10 is Rashad Eugene. Number 13, Kaylan Harry. Wearing in number 18, we have Michael James. Kevin Joseph wearing in number 15. Klein Morris wearing in number 3. Callis Mondesi also on the list. We do have Stephen Octave wearing in number 14. Rick St. John wearing in number 2. And of course Kennedy Willie wearing in number 17. Head coach is Minerva Charles. Assistant coach is Chauvin Benjamin. Manager Kennedy Joseph. Equipment manager is Martin Mathrin. Assistant equipment manager is Sherian Mati. Team doctor is Naomi Jabatis. The physio is Curti Dennis. Our match commissioner is Hendricks Constable. The venue coordinator is Jerome Moyes. The media officer is Sherian William. Mark Bonlouis is our security officer, and of course Dr. Natasha Innocent is our match doctor. The man in the middle with the whistle is Renley Napoleon. AR number 1 is Jenai Claire. AR number 2 is Junior George. The 4th official is Carson Stanislas, and of course our referee assessor is Liana Wallace. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the game. Meeting the teams. Our right honorable Prime Minister, that is, yeah, Philip J. Pierre, and of course Kenson Kazime in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports.
course, we're back here at the Mindu Phillip Park, iconic Mindu Phillip Park. It's just about 24 minutes moving down after the hour of 8 p.m. and we're about to kick off match number 2 of the evening, but the first match in Tier 1 of the Semi-Pro Football League. It's featuring Gros Islet, who finished 3rd last year overall, 2nd in the group phase, and they're facing a newly promoted South CASTRIES outfit. Of course, Elijah Williams in your company, alongside my trusty partner, Mr. Tennyson Glasgow, the critic.
Good night once again, viewers. I'm going to dub this one as Manchester City versus Bournemouth, based on the colors chosen by the teams. And of course, Bournemouth are the cherries, and that would make Gros Islet the citizens. But interesting matchup between the two. Of course, Eli just gave you the statistics on where they placed last season. That's behind them. Now they're looking forward to a productive season. A team in South CASTRIES, which was very pleasing to the eye. Tenacity. They played for all the 90 minutes. They would have been pleased to come up to Tier 1. Sort of a disappointing season for Gros Islet last season, wanting to claim stake of a semi-pro division. So they now too have to prove themselves all over that they can improve from that 3rd place finish and make it all the way to the top. I see players like Aramis, who I always dub to be a very creative player, one who when he's on the ball can make it tick. So Jaleel Evans as well, he's going to be a spark in the eye on the left side. So there are lots of little players in pocket little areas that can show their worth. Of course, we have the ever dependable Johan Deterville in goal for Gros Islet. This guy actually played with me, you know. And this guy is still playing, you know.
Well, he's captain in the team this time around.
I don't understand. Every year I see him, I ask him, how old are you? But I can't believe I stopped playing football so many years ago, and this guy is still at it, you know. So that shows longevity for Deterville as well. So let's see what's going to be the makeup of the newly promoted and the sort of disappointing one in Gros Islet. They're decking a new kit, sort of like a national team color. I like it. So let's enjoy Eli and let's see what comes out of this one.
Well, interestingly, you would say like the national team, because the assistant coach for the men's senior team, Francis Babalastic, is the coach this edition of the Semi-Pro League for Gros Islet, and there are a few notable omissions from this team. Of course, Eden Charles was injured, got an ACL injury, picked it up in Soufrière last season. Of course, Baggio Edward is over there in the UK. He most likely would be watching via the stream. I know he's in a different time zone. Riquelme Lionel, and these are the two wingers. Baggio would have been off the left and Riquelme off the right. Yeah. Riquelme is still recovering from illness. But however, I'll just go through the team news so you have an appreciation as to, you know, what's new with this Gros Islet outfit, as they already look dangerous going up against South CASTRIES, newly promoted. As you mentioned, Giovanni Deterville, the number 77 in goal. He is the, excuse me, the captain. We have number 6, Sherman Augustine. Number 3, Stanley Sherry. Number 15, Brandon Eugene. Number 10, young Jaleel Evans. He would have been on the fringes of this Gros Islet team last year. Really came to the fore in the playoffs, scoring a goal for them in the playoffs. Youth national player. Of course, Josh George, also a youth player. Joshua George featured in the schools football competition, I believe, for Patricia D. James secondary. He's in the starting lineup. We also have Aramis Gilbert, number 17. Troy Greenwich, number 9.
Prolific Troy Greenwich.
Yeah, my apologies there. Josh George is a substitute. Number 8, Raphael Joseph. Number 5, Sebastian Rebo, who's a mainstay. They missed him during the playoffs, got injured, was not able to go deep into the playoffs. Aaron Richard, who was just of the St. Lucia senior national team on the substitute bench for Gros Islet. Riddle Stanislas, who donned the colors of Denry last season. He's the number 7 for this Gros Islet team, and O'Neill Tousse, the number 12. So, in as much as this Gros Islet team with a few omissions, some new faces as well, critic.
Some new functional faces. You mentioned some names there who are, able to turn a game on a dime. You mentioned Rydell Stanislas, you mentioned O'Neill. So there are some players who are equipped. And remember, it's the first game, so we can't really judge the outfit just yet. But interesting names for Gros Islet setup.
Yeah, and of course, this South Castries team, newly promoted, first ever appearance in the top flight of St. Lucia football. Of course, Bernard Antoine is in goal, the number 1 young player of the season for Territory. Oh, and a goal there! Gros Islet on the score sheet. Not even able to get through the lineup. It looks like Jalil Evans, it looks like. Is it? Or is it? Looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Jalil Evans on the score sheet. Eli, we spoke of him. I made mention earlier of him. You will catch the eye. Dangerous player who has a deadly left foot. However, was able to tuck this one with his right foot, and a good build-up as well. The ball just getting past in terms of pace and a good weight on the pass as well. And Jalil just doing the obvious and tucking it away from the custodian in goal for the South Castries team.
Yeah, on his weaker foot as well. Bernard Anton would be disappointed that one got past him. As I was saying, he was the young player of the season in Tier 2. Also made the team of the season last season. 17 years old, in goal for South Castries. Let me get through the rest of the lineup. Hopefully there's no other goals whilst I'm calling out the teams. Number 12, Chad Alfred. Number 10, Rashad Eugene. Number 13, Kalen Harry. Number 18, Michael James. Number 15, Kevin Joseph. Number 3, Klein Morris. Callis Mondesi also in the squad for South Castries. Not able to verify his number just as yet. Of course, Stephen Octave, the number 14. Rick St. John, number 2. And Kennedy Willie, the number 17 for South Castries. South Castries will be looking to demonstrate that they belong in the big time.
I think what they got a good welcome. When you make that leap, the levels change. But again, too, they conceded, but they're still playing. And this is what I want to see, the improvement in terms of our domestic and especially the semi-pro league, that teams continue to play despite the scoreline. So, welcome to them. Welcome by Gros Islet. But look at how they continue to play. So, I don't think it's going to be that easy for the Gros Islet team. But I think we have a very intriguing contest between one that has just got promoted and one who would shed some disappointment last season.
Yeah, South Castries too would be disappointed going undefeated during the season and losing to Vayfor South in the finals. Of course, Vayfor South promoted along with the South Castries outfit.
I think what clearly too, Eli, if we saw the makeup of the South Castries team going, basically undefeated until they faltered, it's a team that never give up. They will continue to play the game. They will never give up. They will try and buy their time and stick at it because they're a young bunch, very energetic. And when you're young like that, you have this sort of youth enthusiasm within that squad. So I expect them to continue and play and make it difficult.
Interestingly enough, Karim Mondesi was the captain last season. He's on the registration sheet, but not in the match day squad. Wondering if that is through injury or just unavailable. slip there by Bernard Antoine, allowing Troy Greenwich to pounce on a. Looks like a good tackle.
Very good tackle. Very good tackle. I'm gonna quiz you now, Eli. On the South Castries team sheet, do you have a name there which ends in Alfred? I want you to go through that sheet for me and see if you have a name there which ends in Alfred.
I know where you're going with that, you know. Yeah, Chad Alfred.
You know who Chad Alfred is?
Julian's brother.
There you go.
Yeah.
Julian Alfred's young brother. And I can tell you,
he's fast too.
Very fast. And if he's a left footer, he's a never say die player. He will give you every single thing he got on that pitch. He will give you. So you could keep your eyes. What number is he wearing?
Number 12.
Number 12. Normally he plays as a left back. I see him employed as a centre back here tonight. So that should be very interesting with himself. If you look at the bandy legs and you can legs, that means speed. So viewers could, take a look, see, Julian Alfred, little brother, is playing football.
Another dangerous ball across the face of the goal there, and Gros Islet
what a save
against the upright.
Was it a save?
Laying siege to the goal of South Castries. Gros Islet showing intent early, just as they did in the opening fixture last year against Leclerc. Badger Edward with a wonder strike, and then they just kind of sat back and played counter-attacking football after that. But
this younger team seems to be spurred by this earlier goal scored by Jalil. It's basically attack after attack. But South Castries is doing pretty well. They live to fight another day.
Number of current and former national players in the squad. Well, Giovanni Di Turville was recently called up as well. Rita Stanislas, in there for Gros Islet. Badger Edward, who's not with the squad, also making a senior cap. Sebastian Rebo, another national player. Jalil Evans at the youth level.
Surprised he hasn't been called up for the senior team just yet. But he's one who's laden with a lot of talent. He has a dangerous left foot, I can tell you that. Cultured left foot.
Goal scoring midfielder. Much in the mold of a Frank Lampard, will give you a lot of goals from the midfield.
Very good young player.
And there they've lost the ball. Is that Rita Stanislas throwing the left boot at it there?
We realize, Eli, against the press to the Gros Islet team, you have about 3 players surrounding players when they get that football within their area. Here's Rydell.
There was a little bit of uncertainty about the Gros Islet outfit. At one point in time, a notice had been put out for an entirely new coaching staff. As we see South Castries getting in behind there. Sebastian Rebo is not the fastest, but very experienced.
Not bad at all.
Nice attempt there. The number 14
good
for South Castries, Stephen Octave.
Yeah, good hold up play by number 10 for South Castries. Having Rebo on his back, but still not,
Rashad Eugene
at all.
there.
Just keeping it and holding up till they were joined in attack.
If that's one thing that you could probably point out as a weakness for Sebastian Rebo, is probably his pace. But his positioning is generally so good that you don't get an opportunity to see attacking players exploit him for pace.
Yeah, but remember, pace as a centre back is very rare. Very rare. If you get a centre back who has a lot of pace, this is a gift.
Rosalie again on the attack, looking dangerous. South Castries living dangerously in this first half. 13th minute of play, and it could have been 2 easily. Upright coming to the rescue of South Castries. Bernard Antoine called into action a couple of times as well.
At some point in time, let us see if the South Castries team can deal with it and to avoid those raids on goal. But as of now, you could see the instructions from the Gros Islet bench is to keep on the pressure.
Yeah, corner by Gros Islet. There looks like Evans taking that one. Flicked on at the near post by Troy Greenidge.
I remember the good old days. I was just about to shout my good friend behind the wall, Eli. Whenever a ball went to that side of the playing facility in the river, you would hear the crowd shout out, "De Costa." So I was about to say De Costa.
Costa is a former national player himself at the youth level.
At the youth level, yeah. Fit for having, yeah. So you have good information.
Rocket over shot too.
Yeah. Dangerous player in his time, you know. De Costa Christophe.
Lakudu massive.
Yeah, better known as Wasco, man. Yeah.
South Castries is not out of this game, you know.
Not at all.
South Castries are making little forays. Yes, Gros Islet does have more of the ball. Yes, Gros Islet showing a little bit more danger in terms of their attacking impetus. But South Castries have found their way into the attacking third, Gros Islet's defensive third, a couple of times already for the evening. And maybe just signaling. And there they are again, and a shot going up.
Jesus Christ. Good shot there by South Castries. Again, Eli, you just mentioned that they're not out of it. They continue to play. And we saw it from last season. If you can play a season and only lose one and make your way up, it shows the growth, the progress of the South Castries team.
Corner kick there. Last season, they would have been depending on their captain at the time, Karim Mondesi, on corners. Another attempt there by South Castries, and they're showing their intent.
Eli, I can tell you something, and I've learned this when I was playing. Anytime you could have the crowd at the Mindofili Park make noise or enjoy, something is right. So this game, certainly with the pace, the chances being created, the shots on goal, the saves, whatever aspect of this game so far has really brought the crowd to life at the Mindofili Park. It's a tough crowd when you come to Masha, but certainly those two teams have rose to the occasion.
Coach Siobhan Benjamin of the South Castries team, also the coach of Bays FC, they would have represented at the Caribbean Club Shield last year. I think this time around it will be LaClery representing St. Lucia at the Club Shield. The group stage is already drawn. But Benjamin would have been buoyed by the performance of his team last year and would be looking to show everyone that South Castries belongs in the Tier 1 of the Semi-Pro Football League.
Indeed they do. And incidentally, this is my constituency. So I'm going to give some added strength during the broadcast and during the season. I got the technical
Evans
ability of Evans, just riding tackles.
Mm-hmm.
A very talented young player.
Of course, Renly Napoleon in the middle. Just recently went on to do a referee's course. Hopefully that will make him eligible to officiate at the international level. Mm-hmm. Widely regarded as one of the best officials on island.
Yeah, whenever an official can make steady progress, and of course he has been spoken in good light. And of course, too, that when you can speak to players and make them understand the game of football and don't make it about yourself, your ceiling cap certainly is at a certain level. And we see Jalil again with a dangerous corner. His corners are basically like free kicks, Eli.
But Mena did well.
That is the skill, yeah. The goalkeeper did very well. That is the skill of the youngster. Ball spread to the right side.
Gros Islet just knocking the ball around there very easily.
Good passage of play there by Gros Islet, showing us what they made possession. It's a pity that pass didn't come off, but again, it shows the intent of the Gros Islet team.
Yeah, the number 8 there, Rafael Joseph, involved in that little passage of play there. Ball ricochets off the hand of Aramis Gilbert. As the heavens open up again at the Mindo Phillip Park. You kind of want it to rain from time to time because what you don't want to happen is for the mud to start getting thick and clinging on to players' boots and really slowing them down.
So just keep the surface on
Slick.
a little moisture. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, for those who have played the game, I think this is one of the well-lit facility. To humid, you have the breeze coming in from the river end, and you have intermittent showers. Set up for a good evening of football. The fans, the atmosphere is certainly. We see spot kick for South Castries team.
Read Stanislas on the ball there. Aramis Gilbert back to Stanislas. Some nifty play there by Gros Islet. The final ball to try to get Troy Greenwich in.
Not bad at all. I don't know if you could hear Eli or maybe a familiar voice in the stand. Massive supporter of the group. You may know about Abo, correct?
You mean the fan of the year?
Yeah.
He's been voted as fan of the year at the recently held National Sports Awards.
Basically telling the players where to pass to you. In the game. As we're doing the broadcast, I can hear him. No. That's a very important, signal when it comes to football. When you hear somebody say man on, it means they're really into it. Yeah. Really into the game. But I would love to see South Castries get on the score sheet just to make this game even more interesting. So far, you can see the Gros Islet team really having the better of possession and the better of attack. But however, it's still 1-0 in their favor as well. But don't underestimate this South Castries team.
Let me just say a special good night to everybody watching via the live stream. Not just in St. Lucia, but our people in the diaspora as well. It's the highest level of football in St. Lucia, Tier 1 of the Semi-Pro Football League, as South Castries gets set to loft this one up in a dangerous area.
Interesting take. Could bring down.
Rashad Eugene just lost his foot in there. Was that young Alfred that just...
Yeah, no nonsense. I told you he's a no-nonsense player. No. Ball will be going towards our end. We must say, Eli, we have a really good vantage point. Like I said when I came in early this afternoon, I told you we're up in the gantry. We can see every aspect of the ground from every angle. I think it's the one grounds where you could walk
Yes.
in terms of football.
Yes.
You get to see every aspect of what's happening. Wide view. Possession to the Gros Islet team. Young Jalil seems to be the specialist. Again, remember earlier in the earlier game you mentioned that you wish the players would hit the ball with a little more pace, a little more velocity, and a little more lift. And that is what young Jalil has been doing. Look at the technique he's employing. See the difference? So that ball comes in with a nice trajectory and good pace. Once you can get your head or your foot onto it, it should pose some problems.
We almost had to call the Costa there.
Yeah. I remember having a chat with him, and he said he would have many, he'd have collected several. Following day, you try to sell them, you know. Because they made business out of that. But possession to South CASTRIES, bad pass right there. Good passing, good movement by Gros Islet, keeping possession on the left side.
Klein Morris, who dons the number 3 for South CASTRIES, believe it or not, is only 16 years old. Plays for Lancers FC.
If you look at it, Eli, not only in football, but the composition of sports, a lot of young athletes are making their debut in every aspect of sport. No longer that, you would say, well, he's too young. I think once the individual athlete has the capability, you have to give this youngster a break, Often say that we have to earn our spot in terms of making teams, but there are Yamal for Barcelona, at that age, so it's happening right.
What it looks like, South CASTRIES is a good breeding ground for young players, because in goal we have a 17-year-old Bernard Antoine. Klein, that I just made mention of, Klein Morris, 16 years old, plays for Lancers FC. Bernard Antoine plays for Bays. Kevin Joseph, the number 15, is 17 years old, plays for Black Panthers down in Soufrière. Right, so quite a few young talent, and they're in the starting lineup. It's not good to say that they're just looking on from the bench, so seems to be a good breeding ground. Number 18, Michael James, is also 20 years old, plays for Bays. So a bunch of young players, I shouldn't just say a bunch, of the number of young players in the fold for the South CASTRIES team. Of course, there's a few, older heads in the middle as well, in the mix, I should say. But a good blend. The South CASTRIES team looks like, if they can keep the core together and build on it, that they can probably go places in the future.
So the future looks well for South CASTRIES. And do this in the mud, boy. Spin pass there by Jalil, trying to file right there on the left side.
Good tackle there as well.
Pass there by Jalil. Rydell, of course, national player. Just rode this tackle. Ramis.
Ramis Gilbert and Troy Greenwich were both in the team of the season last year in Tier 1. Along with Badger Edward.
The game has
simmered down
a bit, which means that all the nervous energy is a good strike.
Shot in anger.
There in his balcony.
Mr. Christoph.
Yeah, but it seems that the game has, the momentum, the drive has just dwindled a bit. So the team seems to have settled down right now, so we get a normal pace. Very, very rare you'll see a game playing full throttle for 90 minutes.
I'd like to say I think South Castries has grown into the game. Because Gros Islet was all gung-ho at the start, and rightfully so, they got a goal out of it. But for the last 10-15 minutes, the contest has seemed more balanced.
Yes. Remember, Gros Islet, we would probably call them a more seasonal approach, despite it's the second edition. Or the second season, here is squandering an opportunity there, Eli, in the 6-yard area.
And of all people, Rita Stanislas ball drop into him, and
he's a left footer, so he may have just, ball may have just evaded him. But the Gros Islet team have more seasonal players. But just because the South Castries team had this remarkable record last season, by no means there are any minnows in those league. Tempers will fly, tackles are coming in. Keep your emotions in checks, players.
very interesting contest at this point in time. We into the 30th minute of play as Gros Islet looks to restart. Ball played to Sebastian Ribo.
We see a little mini press there by the South Castries team. Ball going out of touch.
It's passed there by Evans. They don't pay for it. Stanley Cherry about to take the throw in for Gros Islet. Ball played back to him and lofted up to the feet of Troy Greenidge. Cherry in again.
Ball still in possession of Gros Islet. A throw in this time again, Eli. We need a goal to just liven up the crowd once again. Gros Islet pleading for a penalty.
Big appeal. Nothing doing there. And Ribo into the trusty arms of Bernard Antoine. As we said, just 17 years old. But he seems to have a wealth of experience already at his tender age.
Very good football. That ball should be coming across Rydell. Have a feeble cross there, poor cross there if you ask me, and by his level. South Castries looking to keep possession.
One of the strengths of Sebastian Ribo is his passing, his distribution
He has a good range of
out
pass.
of the back.
Strong. He's like an ox at the back there.
But right now he's out of position.
A good recovery. The pitch is a little slippery in the middle, so Oh,
And we
good skill,
see
youngster. Good skill.
taking on a player there, beating him for pace. But the
Not bad
cross,
at all. Not bad at
cross
all. They
should
really
have been
excite
a
me.
little better.
For some reason, Eli, the South Castries team, they're an exciting team to watch,
That was Win Philogen there. My list says he's supposed to be a substitute, but he's wearing the number 17. And that's kind of what we were saying was sort of missing from the first game when it came to the Library team. That ability to beat a player one-on-one and pull players out of position and create space for your teammates. And we just saw a little foray there by South Castries. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of that as the game goes on. The end product was not what you would have wanted. Needed to stand that up maybe to the back post or to the front post to give his players an opportunity.
Remember, Library is in tier 2, and the table doesn't lie. So clearly the level of competition, the level the players are at, you will get that. But I see where you're going with this, and clearly I'm happy that it's happening in tier 2. So it shows the development from last season already being shown this season. So this is a very good game between those two teams.
Yeah, so far I've been enjoying the game, I must say. By no stretch of the imagination is it just one-way traffic. South Castries have put their hand up and said, hey, we are here. We didn't come up to tier 1 to just participate. We are here to compete.
That's right. Young bunch, good coach as well.
Young coach too.
Yeah.
South Castries just putting their foot on the ball for a little bit there and then
searching pass there by me. I've just got a little blow to the upper part of his body.
I think he just got nicked by the boot of Sherry there. Inadvertently, of course. There was
a long searching pass there by Alfred. Situation where South Castries team now Eli could just get some instructions from the bench. Probably try to reshape that team, have them to stay focused, let them know how much time it is towards the first half. All those little information is so useful. So you know how to approach the game at certain times, I could never be a coach. I don't think I can do it. I as much as I'm a football fanatic, you played whatever, but coaching is I respect coaches, man. Good possession there by Gros Islet. Goalkeeper coming out.
He had to be certain there, Bernard Antoine.
Sweeper.
Came out with conviction there. Stanislas had gotten onto that. You almost felt like it would have been inevitable that he would have gone around the oncoming goalkeeper and caused some problems there for South Castries.
Promise from midfield, goalkeeper getting onto this one. Many legs were in front of him and was still able to stay focused and make that save, Eli.
Not just make a save, but hold on to the ball as well. Not the best use of the ball there by South Castries after looking threatening there for a little bit. Good interception there. Rashad Eugene there for South Castries, the number 10.
Strong lad.
They'll be trying to get him on the ball as much as possible. A player that can make things happen for South Castries.
But another bad effort. Again, you see Eli, the age of the South Castries team. Just a little. You just probably need someone with a little more experience to sort of kind of show them their way.
Things together.
Yeah, they're still a little rough on the edges. But they have time on their side. The coaching will come into play. But I would love to see probably a more senior midfielder play for South Castries, where they can make those half chances. They don't ever give up. They're relentless in their approach.
South Castries is making a good game out of this. We're into the 40th minute of play. It's still 1-0 in favor of Gros Islet. An early strike coming via the boots of Jelly Levens. Nice combination play, cutting in off of the left and slotting in with his right foot past Bernard Antoine.
If you have also realized the interchange between himself and Rydell, Jalil was employed on the right side earlier on. Now it is Rydell who is in there. So again, showing a different side, a different approach to the Gros Islet attack. Look how comfortable the South Castries team is, as much as they were way up in attack, but they're still able to keep possession of the football.
Beaten for Piston.
Not bad at all. The intent.
Gilbert on the ball. Stanislas.
Rebo.
Brandon Eugene.
Hussein. Out of touch. As much as Gros Islet is leading the game, it's not been easy for them.
Not at all. I've been rather impressed by the South Castries outfit.
As if they're almost just like one pass away.
With that said, though, Giovanni de Turville in goal I don't think he has had a save to make so far,
No, I just probably ushered one going a little bit wide, but to say that, a half chance, a chance, or a clear-cut opportunity, that's what I'm saying. That the South Africans, they're almost like this one pass away to nailing it.
And that will be the first save for the Turville, the first
shot on target.
But as you would say, critic?
Milk for the cat. Yeah, but they're all right. I think the South Castries team, you could hear the applause from the bench, encouraging them.
Gros Islet again in the build-up.
Jalil putting his ball into the area.
All along the ground this time.
Trying to find the player on the inside, trying to disguise that pass.
Well, Troy Greenwich is very much a penalty box.
Poacher.
Yeah, striker, you know. So if you give him those opportunities, he will take it.
Scored many goals in his career. Lifted titles for Gros Islet as well. But he's changed his game a bit, I guess, as he got older. Before he was able to run in that football, but now he's more operates within the 6-yard area.
32 years old now. Not old by any stretch of the imagination, Adrian! Gros Islet!
Some melee in there. Some melee
Snuck
in there.
one in there. Who's that? Couldn't clearly see who that was there.
Looks like Troy Greenwich. I'm not certain, but we'll find out.
And it is.
Yeah, Troy Greenwich. Speak of him.
Just mentioned.
And just speak of him a little.
Poacher.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he is. This is how when you get older, Eli, you change your game to suit. He just was able to keep that ball alive, and there you got it. Right in the area. Gros Islet going up 2-0. Yeah, the coaching staff might be a little disappointed because the player was down for the South Castries team. And let's look at this one again. See, a player was already down. That's what
Not sure if there was any infraction. Didn't really see what exactly caused him to go down.
Yeah. You could see them pointing to the spot and hoping that the referee would have,
I don't think you can
tough
ask.
game out there, boy.
Don't think you can ask the referee to stop the game in that scenario.
Oh no, it's a tough game. Football is a tough game. It's a cruel game at times, a beautiful game, but it's a tough game with some tough decisions and results to take. Look how well South Castries have been playing, yet still they're down 2.
Yeah, the first goal that Gros Islet scored in this game, they were really controlling the first exchanges, and we see South Castries in there and a strike there. Another deflected strike by South Castries. Good response from them though after conceding that second goal. That's the halftime whistle there. Gros Islet leading South Castries by the scoreline of 2-0. Goals from the boots of Jalil Evans and Troy Greenwich.
Yeah, the South Castries team look a little deflated and disappointed, but it comes with the territory that you're playing in. You're playing in Tier 2 up against a team which came in 3rd position, so you have to buy those moments. You have to take it in. You have to regroup. This is the occasion where you go in there and you take some water and you chill yourself, you kill the emotions and see how best you're going to approach that game in the second half. So a lot has to be done now with the coaching staff of the South Castries team, while on the other side, the guy the likes of Baba Lastic will be encouraging his team to pump some more goals.
Yeah, and we need to take in some water ourselves. So we'll take a break right now and go to our sponsors.
Dream big, make it your own. Home Sweet gets you any style of home. Be yourself saying home sweet home. With a home sweet mortgage, you are number one. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. See that new home, we get it. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Act now when you won't regret it. POSL. Bank of St. Lucia's enhanced home sweet mortgages are designed around you. Home Flex, a home equity line of credit. Home Quest, for professionals building new dreams. And Home Switch, time to bring your mortgage home to us. Home Sweet Mortgages, make it your own. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. POSL. For more information, call 456-6999 or go to bankofstlucia.com. POSL.
In the heart of every community lies a dream waiting to come true as a journey begins. We dribble through life's hurdles, breaking down its barriers, looking beyond the horizon. Lessons are learned, friendships are forged, and strength is birthed from within. Beyond tactics and goals, we strive as a team. With discipline and perseverance, we advance. Through every kick, stumble, and victory, our lives are changing, and together we rise.
It's not just a game. Football is our life.
The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League, leveraging football to transform lives.
This is the Semi-Pro Football League. Feel the passion, feel the vibe. Leveraging football to transform lives. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League. Let's go! One shot to create your greatness. It's your time to make your name. It's more than just a way of life. This is more than just a game. This is one more reason why we unite with each other. So here comes one more season. This is football to unite the world. When we come alive, we just excite the world. Celebrate emotions and ignite the world. Let's make sure everybody knows it's the Semi-Pro League and this is what we love. Let's go! Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. Let's play! Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. This is a beautiful game and this is what we love. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League.
Leveraging football to transform lives.
My journey into business began in one of the hardest moments of my life. In 2020, I lost my job from the hotel industry and my husband was temporarily laid off from his.
As a couple with young kids, at the time, we had to ensure that we had a steady income.
We decided to convert the lower floor of my home into vacation rentals. But we needed support to grow.
The credit union couldn't go any further and financing felt out of reach.
But everything changed when we were introduced to Elite Builders Capital, a product made just for us from Bank of St. Lucia.
With their help, we completed our last 2 units. 2 of our villas were inspired by our kids, Melo for Melody and Samo for Samuel.
Now we have 6 fully furnished villas ready for more guests.
Dream big, make it your own. Home Sweet gets you any style of home. Be yourself saying home sweet home with a home sweet mortgage. You are number one. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Act now and you won't regret it. POSL. Bank of St. Lucia's enhanced home sweet mortgages are designed around you. Home Flex, a home equity line of credit. Home Quest, for professionals building new dreams. And Home Switch, time to bring your mortgage home to us. Home Sweet Mortgages, make it your own. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. POSL. For more information, call 456-6999 or go to bankofstlucia.com. POSL.
In the heart of every community lies a dream waiting to come true as a journey begins. We dribble through life's hurdles, breaking down its barriers, looking beyond the horizon. Lessons are learned, friendships are forged, and strength is birthed from within. Beyond tactics and goals, we strive as a team. With discipline and perseverance, we advance. Through every kick, stumble, and victory, our lives are changing, and together we rise.
It's not just a game. Football is our life.
The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League, leveraging football to transform lives.
This is the Semi-Pro Football League. Feel the passion, feel the vibe. Leveraging football to transform lives. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League. Let's go! One shot to create makes you greatness. It's your time to make your name. It's more than just a way of life. This is more than just a game. This is one more reason why we unite with each other. So here comes one more season. This is football to unite the world. When we come alive, we just excite the world. Celebrate emotions and ignite the world. Let's make sure everybody knows it's the semi-pro league and this is what we love. Let's go. This is what we love. Game and this is what we love. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League.
Leveraging football to transform lives.
Feel the thunder of the pitch, the roar of the crowd, and witness the rising of our nation. St. Lucia, this is the Semi-Professional Football League Season 2. 2 epic tournaments, 143 electrifying matches, 10 venues, 1 island, 1 heartbeat. From June to December 2025, 20 district football leagues will face off. Every match is a battle, every goal is a statement, and every fan is part of the legacy. Who will rise to victory? Play your schedule and be part of history. Visit semiprofootballleague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for full match fixtures, live coverage, updates, and behind the scenes access. This is our season where passion lives and purpose leads.
This is a beautiful game and this is what we love. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League.
Leveraging football to transform lives.
My journey into business began in one of the hardest moments of my life. In 2020, I lost my job from the hotel industry and my husband was temporarily laid off from his.
As a couple with young kids, at the time, we had to ensure that we had a steady income.
We decided to convert the lower floor of my home into vacation rentals. But we needed support to grow.
The credit union couldn't go any further and financing felt out of reach.
But everything changed when we were introduced to Elite Builders Capital, a product made just for us from Bank of St. Lucia.
With their help, we completed our last 2 units. 2 of our villas were inspired by our kids. Melo for Melody and Samo for Samuel.
Now we have 6 fully furnished villas ready for more guests.
Greenwich number 9 netting for Gros Islet. Well, right now, Gros Islet is better than them, and we giving them flowers, eh?
Flowers and shots, yeah. Amaretto sours and snapshots, yeah. Take you on a cruise, stamp your passport, yeah. Girl, I am the key to your.
My mashup people, what's up?
Yeah.
We're here at the Middle Philip Park, what's up, man?
Yeah. Flowers and shots.
Shout out to the 19 district teams participating.
I'm happy with my baby. I'm happy with my.
Well, this year the National Under 20 will be participating in the top tier right now. You know, the National Under 20 will be playing in the tier 2.
Beautiful is what you are. Your costume, beautiful is how you make me feel. Beautiful is what
but we have to call you. And when we step out on the road, we go get mad on the road. Cause the two are we together is an explosion.
I see man like Pardo playing for Gros Islet right now, man.
You ready?
Big up to Pardo, Riddle Stanislas Wagwan.
Jump up with your crew.
Yo, Troy Greenwich Wagwan, Morris Wagwan.
Just take out something and fling it. Take out something and fling it up. Whenever the West Hand roll it. Whenever the West Hand roll it up. Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Cause it's a beautiful life. Put your hand up in the air. Put your hand up in the air. I said put it up. Make it beautiful.
I ain't seen Naive for South Castries here tonight. I wonder what's wrong with the dreadlocks, man, you know.
Jump up and do your thing. Excitement. She have excitement.
Where Naive Henry, man? Big up yourself, Naive. Anywhere you there?
Them wine on that excitement. Look at
That one dedicated to Exodus. Wicked.
What me tell you? We're about to recommence. Well, it's still 2-0 in favor of Gros Islet. Jalil Evans netting for Gros Islet, and of course Troy Greenwich. Our first encounter, Marshall got the better of Labrie by 3-1. Lincoln Phillip and Naz Valsain, and netting for Marshall and Zach Boland for Labrie.
We're back with second half action here in the opening fixture in Tier 1 of the Semi-Pro Football League. Gros Islet up 2-0 against newcomers South Castries. And South Castries have made a change. Critic Antoine Wilfred, the number 7, instead of Kevin Joseph, the number 15, who substituted out of the game.
Tactical change or probably a niggle. But let us see what substitute can bring on. Still 2-0 in favor of the northern team, which is Gros Islet. And again, it's an opportunity to see if this Gros Islet team can improve from last season's campaign. And of course, introduction to Tier 1 for South Castries. Find it a little tough for them, but we always say football is life. So certainly the going may be rougher now, but it's a promising young outfit by the South Castries.
Well, nice footwork there by Riddle Stanislas on the right flank for Gros Islet. Ably marshaled and shepherded out. Folks from South Castries would have been hoping for a good result tonight. I mean, it was Cicero Carnival today. They would have hoped to continue the festivities well into the night, as we see a shot there from Aramis Gilbert. Deflected out for a corner.
You are correct, Eli. I think there was the pageant last night and the band parade today, Jump Up. And now is the parade tonight at the Middle Phillip Park. So the community or the constituency is lit. Let us see if the football team can change the tide and get on the score sheet.
Grenadier tries to flick that one on, unsuccessful. You kind of wonder what Dennery is going to look like this season. Losing Riddell Stanislas, of course, Josh Hunt is off to school. Another key player for them.
Yeah, but remember, Dennery, similar to Gros Islet, to V4, they manufacture players. They have a conveyor belt in those districts. So there's always this player or those players who are just waiting to buy their time, you know. As much as you've missed top quality in the names that you've mentioned, but there are also some youngsters who can't fit the billing, you know. They might not be as good as the names that you mentioned, but at least they're able to get an opportunity to showcase their talent.
Of course, Dennery had the best defensive record in the league last season in Tier 1, conceding 1 goal from a penalty all season and then conceding 2 against Central Castries in their final group game. And then they went on to the eliminator and conceded 4.
Like I told you, Eli, it's the cruel game of football. Statistics. And remember, much of football these days are statistics driven. Data. So it only tells you. But again, it's a new composition of a team this time around. So let us see if they can get past this hurdle of these penalties and what have you. You see.
Evans there with a shot stinging the palms of Bernard Antoine and Gros Islet.
They kept at it.
Looks like this will be an unassailable lead at the rate that Gros Islet is going. An early goal just similar to the first half. Striking early in the first half. Gros Islet striking early again in the second half. And that looks like Sherman Augustine. The number 6 for Gros Islet there, Sherman Augustine, looks like.
And we see also the persistence of young Jalil. Took a shot, ball was saved, however, was able to keep his composure, Eli, and put that ball within the frame with a lot of pace. So basically, Sherman just had to get his head on target, get that header on target, and it worked out to be a goal. So it's a tough opening for the South Castries team, but in football, Eli, you can't run away, you can't hide. Introduction to Tier 1 of the Semi-Pro League.
Bernard Antoine would be a little disappointed with his defense there because goalkeepers are taught to parry the ball away from the danger area, and that's what he did. Parried the ball back out wide, but then his defenders were not marking in the center. 2 Gros Islet players, they could have had their pick as to who headed that in. And it was Sherman Augustine on the end of that one.
Yeah.
Gros Islet up 3 goals to the good.
Yeah, clearly, like Gros Islet is the better team between the two, and they're showing it as we progress.
At one point in time, there was some concern about young Jalil Evans. Suffered a serious knee injury early on in his young career.
Exploits in French territory as well. You could see that really wealth of experience for him. He plays like he's before. That's already scan what's happening.
Yeah.
That shows the level. Overseas, he was a out and out record breaker in terms of scoring goals at a youth level.
At the youth level, yes, yes.
So all this is coming to fruition now as a senior player. And you know, I watch the defenders trying to deal with him, but he's miles ahead of what's happening here tonight.
Sebastian Ribo just catching a stray boot there. Seems to be okay. As a matter of fact, he's restarted the game.
And again, we see and Rydell, very comfortable either way. Both of them are left-footed, but they're quite comfortable with the football and making those passes or shooting on goal with either feet.
Looks like Rafael Joseph, the one suffering that foul there.
Tackles are coming in. But now is where you need the experience, Eli. As much as you suffered a tackle, it doesn't warrant going overboard at the officials. You're not going to get any good from that. Referee has already blown the whistle.
I think he got clattered really proper there, in some pain. I think you can almost hear him saying he got stood on. I don't know if the went down the back of his Achilles. But he's definitely in some
he'll be all right.
Discomfort there.
If you could use that energy to cry out and gestures at the referee, the official, he'll be all right. What those players need to understand is it's a contact sport. And like I mentioned earlier, shin guards are very minute. This is what you need to protect you.
They're shin pads now, not guards.
There you go. So
Shin
they're not
pads.
even shin guards anymore. They can't guard you anymore.
Grace Willia Ogis there, the physio for Gros Islet.
What I would have loved to see, Eli, is that the official, the player on the other team, in the meantime, let him be aware that,
I don't think there was any malice in the tackle though. Going for the ball in earnest, but I mean, in the conditions there, a tackle that would normally be inconsequential may come across as a little bit more forceful.
And keep in mind the conditions as well.
Yeah, that's the point I was drawing at,
Yeah.
So wins the ball back and then gives it away.
Between the wings. They seem to have just lost it by conceding free.
I can tell you this Gros Islet outfit, they feel like they have a score to settle. They've been training. These days, the Gros Islet mini stadium provides some level of privacy.
Behind closed doors.
So they've been training under the guidance of Francis Babalastic. Just fresh off of his national assignment. Of course, this Lucia national team in of QSO, and Evans again into a dangerous area. Been making those forays from the midfield and getting into the box of South Castries with regularity, Jalil Evans.
Actually, it was a diagonal run. Carried him across all the other side of the pitch. And have he used the right foot, he may have just been able to make it stick.
Well, he stuck one in the back of the net earlier on with that right foot. Gros Islet now is starting to exercise a measure of control on this fixture.
Yeah, very comfortable. You lead in 3-0. This is what you need. You need a comfortable lead to be comfortable in possession. What they're doing.
Evans again with a dangerous ball across.
Very good cross of the football. This time everybody was in rather than making that run.
You can hear the referee Renly Napoleon asking the player, does he need medical attention? Player going down. Surely that will mean that he would have to go to the sideline after medical team has come on. Looks like he's ruptured his boot in the process. So he didn't need the medic, he needed the kitman.
Soggy ground, you need some boots that could stand up to the occasion. I also want to make mention, Eli, the conditioning of the Gros Islet team. It seemed to be a fitter outfit than the South Castries team as well.
Always a huge factor in football, fitness levels.
Good recovery there by the Gros Islet team. However, a shot on, not too bad of a shot, but not on target.
Well, this was a very good contest, the first 35 minutes there and thereabout. We would love to see it return to those sorts of levels, but you kind of get the sense that the wind has sort of been knocked out of the South Castries team. But maybe they just need a moment to give them some encouragement, critic?
I think they need moments. And they need more than one. Because the experience and the composure of that Gros Islet team, they seems to be smelling some blood. And normally, Eli, when you smell blood, what do you do?
Is that a trick question?
It's a question. It's a general question this time. Yeah. I mean, you're a basketballer. You've played every aspect of
sport. Go for the kill, man.
That is correct.
Go for the kill.
That is correct. That is what they will be doing. They will be looking to increase that scoreline. Just to put one more nail.
Well, Gros Islet definitely has enough depth in their squad that they could ring in the changes.
Big time.
Make sure that everybody remains fit. A nice piece of skill there.
And once you can get a reaction from a martial crowd at the midfield pack, you're in good stead.
Of course, every team will be playing on every match week. So adjustments made to the Semi-Pro Football League.
Non-stop football.
Of course, there will be a break here and there. Short breaks. Break for carnivals. National festival, of course. The CPL is going to be here a little after Carnival as well. There'll be a short break for that, just about a week there and thereabout. It's going to give the players an opportunity to refresh themselves.
Despite the scoreline, we still see the tenacity of the South Castries. They're coming full throttle, trying to make a statement otherwise.
Another change coming in there. Look like number 16 is coming in place of number 2 and number 19 for number 7.
I think Rydell put in a good performance as well. Making his debut for Gros Islet, Eli?
Yeah, he would have felt unlucky that he didn't score in the first half. His shot ricocheting off of the upright. Looked dangerous when on the ball. Little bits of skill here and there, navigating his way through defenders. Overall, a good outing for the national player, Rydell Stanislas. Yellow card is out now.
You see, Eli, you see a lot of fouls coming in right now because of the score line in terms of South Castries. But this is where the Gros Islet players now need to show their maturity. Under these conditions, you don't want to hold on to the football and run with it. Basically, you make a one-touch or a wall pass or a two-touch for the most. So basically, you would have the South Castries team just chasing the football. But if you want to hold on to the football under these conditions, tackles will be coming in.
Kennedy Willie, the number 17 for South Castries, shown the yellow card. And now Gros Islet an opportunity to send the ball into the penalty area, see if they can come up with goal number 4.
Good clearance there.
Young Alfred.
Young Alfred towering in the middle and clearing. Ball going up to the river end.
Napoleon now starting to brandish the yellow cards. Sherman Augustine, they're picking up a yellow card for Gros Islet.
I saw what you did there, you know, Eli. Napoleon starting to brandish. You aware that there is Napoleon brandy?
I didn't say brandy though.
I'm just telling you.
That's what you wanted me to say.
Napoleon starting to brandish.
Nothing gets past you, cricket.
Yeah.
Nothing gets past
Ball
you.
into the area, cleared there by Rebo. Still in possession there for South Castries. Just trying to put it back into the area to see if they could create a chance. Possession to Gros Islet. Ball cleared up field.
There we go again.
That's not necessary. Let's keep the game in check, Gros Islet. Up free.
Is that the second yellow? No, it looks like Sherman Augustine again. Or it was number 22 that picked up the yellow card early on then. So that would have been Melvin Aurelia. It would have been picked up the yellow card early on.
That's correct.
And then Sherman Augustine just received his booking a short while ago. Miss kick there by Alfred. But definitely make sure nothing came out of that.
Tell you. Young Alfred is adamant that despite the missed tackle, but you ain't getting past him, you know. See him play left back. I think he's a better left back. He can use his speed to go along the byline. But which is figure, well, let's try him out in a different position. Possession. Searching passes, floating this one in the area.
Nice bit of skill there by Gros Islet.
He just happened to trip on that ball. It would have been a nice little play, Eli.
Nice interplay there by Gros Islet. Despite the scoreline, it's been a good contest, though, critic.
Yeah, indeed. Again, you'd have always seen the energy by the South Castries team making their debut in Tier 1. And like we mentioned earlier, disappointment for Gros Islet not going all the way. So both teams had objectives coming into the opening fixture. But again, it's all about levels and quality. And certainly that the Gros Islet team is better than the South Castries team. But the experience will do the South Castries team pretty well going into the other fixtures.
One observation I'd like to make, I was saying last year, Jaleel Evans was sort of on the periphery of this Gros Islet team, and we've seen him come in there and sort of be the catalyst today, driving the team forward.
Definitely he is. You spoke earlier too of injuries to Eve, and probably Eve would have played that role. But look at how he has propelled himself from last season to now. Like you just mentioned, he is the mainstay. He's the one who really, orchestrates the attack for Gros Islet. And Jaleel, basically, is almost like a stroll in the park for him.
Well, for those of you wondering, Riquelme Lionel is registered. They're hoping that they could get him fit and ready to go during the course of the season. The things are still up in the air as it pertains to Badger Edward. He's on week 2. He'll be on week 2 this week of his 4-week trial with Fleetwood Town up there in the UK. So who knows how things may go with him.
You just never know. This is what the youngsters want, and this is what the government of St. Lucia has provided by ensuring that the semi-pro is into season 2, that young players get opportunities to further themselves, not only as a footballer, but as a human being. I think first and foremost, that's what you have to be, a human being, and everything else comes after. Almost a little fumble there by Giovanni, but he was able to hold on to it. Very safe pair of hands in goal for Gros Islet. Keeping it simple at the back. Rebo in possession. Very patient, trying to draw the opposition towards themselves. Looking for some passing lanes. Little hope for South Castries, Eli, bringing in a player almost 6 feet, almost like Peter Crouch.
Well, then he shot about 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, very tall. We are almost on the 75th mark, where your coaches will want to take off your marquee players, the Jaleels. You want to make sure those guys can play the next fixture. We see South Castries bringing a very tall guy there.
Kennedy Willie.
There it is. There is the strike, Eli. He missed this opportunity. The flag is up, is it? Yeah, the flag is up. I don't mind seeing that replay.
Spares his blushes.
Yeah, let me see that replay right there. Comes in. Wow. Like the flag was up.
A foul.
Yeah.
Can't be for offside. He ran into. Looks like it's for a foul there.
It looks like a foul on the back of the player. And we see the heavens still remaining open. Somebody's whipping up there, Eli.
Maybe somebody from South Castries.
All right. South Castries still trying to keep at it, relinquish position. Should see a ball towards the flank side. Continue.
What a strike there.
Very good strike.
Jalil Evans has an acres of space for a while.
Oh, yes. You could hit up here all the way up
For
there in
a
the
good few seconds he was.
But a very good shot. I mean, just came into the fray. Want to stretch those legs. Very, very good shot. Despite Jalil being available on the far side. Very good shot by the youngster.
I think pretty soon we should be joined by the Minister of Youth Development and Sports, the Honorable Kenson Casimir. I could see him walking across there, all smiles, rightfully so. Gros Islet team doing the business against South CASTRIES. Still with 15 minutes of regulation time to go. And of course, whatever Renly Napoleon deems as stoppage time. Nice bit of skill there.
A little too much because, again, the conditions.
That was Stephen Octave there, showing a nice little bit of skill there. Gros Islet on the ball once again. Him starting to peter out a little bit. Still able to maintain possession and ball into touch there.
Gros Islet having a very comfortable night on the opening night, despite the conditions at the Mindo Philip Park. You can see them making 2 substitutions right now, Eli.
Of course, as promised, I'm joined by the Minister for Youth Development and Sports, the Honorable Kenson Casimir. I've not seen a grin much bigger than that.
Of course.
Gros Islet is in the building.
Absolutely, absolutely. How you doing, guys? Of course, very, very happy to be here. We've seen the rain just continuing to pour down on the Mindo Philip Park. First nighttime encounter in the top tier in the semi-professional football league. So very happy to be here.
Mr. Minister, the second iteration of the semi-pro football league. This season, we've seen a tremendous increase in venues. 10 venues, I believe, across the length and breadth of St. Lucia. Last season, it was 3 venues used: the Denry Playing Field, Super Mini Stadium, and belatedly we had some at the Philip Master Grounds. Well, of course, the opener was here, but it was day matches. But now we have an opportunity to bring semi-pro football to every nook and cranny in St. Lucia.
Absolutely, and that has been the plan from day one. Investment in sporting facilities was always part of the mandate that I felt we needed to embrace in St. Lucia. Mindo Philip Park is pretty much the mecca for all sports development, and we felt like we needed lights to have more games here. And you're seeing the development of the Gros Islet Mini Stadium right now. Philip Maslek grounds, upgrade in terms of lights. And so I'm very proud of what we've seen so far.
A little birdie told me that when the semi-pro games get to Gros Islet, there will be an official naming of the Gros Islet mini stadium. Any truth to that?
Absolutely, but we cannot let the cat out of the bag yet. We've had so much talent.
The tail is out,
Use this playing field, and of course, we just felt it was fair to name it after an absolute legend, stalwart of development of sport in the constituency, and I'm looking forward to it. We've done a lot of work on the Gros Islet playing field. We've done a lot of work on Grand Riviere and Corinth, and so we're very proud that we continue to see the development of our facilities and, of course, the development of sports overall from this government. I want to say special thank you to the Minister of Finance and the Cabinet of Ministers for seeing the vision and ensuring that the finances are made available to continue to develop sports in this country.
Yeah, the Prime Minister was with us during the first game and indicated that there are some heated debates in Cabinet. Of course, the Manchester United supporters always win. But
I don't know when last. We do have heated debates. He being a Manchester United fan and I being a diehard Arsenal fan.
I think half the cabinet is Arsenal fans.
So we have very, very good discussions. But all light in terms of what we're doing. But when we get serious, we speak about how we can enhance the livelihood of young men and women in St. Lucia, and of course, giving them this form of incentive encourages them to come back to the field. Today, even with Gros Islet, we're seeing some of the players that that used to play before, in terms of Jardel coming back on the field, making a big difference in the midfield for Gros Islet. I just think it's a good encouragement for young people growing up to see that there is some form of compensation and there's some level of professionality being asked of them from very early.
Yeah, and just doubling back on the conversation of facilities, we've seen some work happening at the SAB. Lighting is going to be there as well?
Yes, so the plan is to have, in terms of the city, I've said this before, any developing country who wants to develop sport, there is a facility in the city center. You would debate whether it's really the center, but in the city, the capital, to really develop sports beyond the hours of 6 o'clock. And that is one of the things that have motivated me to go in that direction for Central Castries. Leclerc playing field, they are due some upgrades. The contract has been signed and we expect work to commence mid-July.
In terms of what, seating?
In terms of sitting, in terms of lighting, proper facility in terms of washroom. For the Leclerc playing field, of course, they are the defending champions, so they will be playing a lot of the games at home come the third edition of the semi-professional football league.
Yeah, and they also are representing St. Lucia in the Caribbean Club Shield as well. An opportunity there for the first winners of the semi-pro football league to go ahead and represent St. Lucia. As I have you there, let me just segue a little bit into swimming. The National Aquatic Center.
Yes, work continues on the National Aquatic Center. I mean, we've done so much in terms of, and this is another venture that we felt was absolutely necessary for our swimmers. The bulk of our swimmers are up north, as you know, and I think the facility is much needed for programming our inter-school competition, and of course we needed to have a global standard facility for our people, Olympic standard pool and warm-up area, and so the work continues on that. We've been having some challenges over, oh my God, and we just saw something that we should not see.
That's very unfortunate. Up 3-0. You don't want to see a player losing his head in that way.
Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing.
Of course, Renly Napoleon is definitely the official you want in these sorts of situations. Very experienced, one of our better officials on island, so
absolutely
he would have already done what he needed to do and said what he needed to say. Michael Castang, the player receiving the red card for Gros Islet, I'm pretty sure he's disappointed. It's a long walk back and he's definitely looks like he's contemplating what he just did.
At times it's retaliation. The retaliation is what's caught. because of course there was an infringement and then there was a reaction. So the reaction is what normally causes those sort of decisions being made. But very disappointing. 3-0 up, your team in a very comfortable position. No need for that. Just keep your calm. And I think this is what this league is supposed to really promote. That these young people, being disciplined. I think discipline is very, very important.
Yeah, well, definitely not going to put a damper on the performance put in by the Gros Islet team thus far. South Castries newcomers to the league. They went almost unbeaten in Tier 2 last year, only lost in the finals. So they would want to show everybody that they belong. Of course, this season is a double round robin. So more games, yeah.
Absolutely. Last year in the inaugural event, we just had teams playing each other once, but they have time. Very young team, as a matter of fact. While I shook their hands, I asked them the age, 16, 17, 17. A very young team to look forward to. And there's been a lot of work ongoing in South Castries in terms of football development, the club structure as well, with Bays doing very, very well in the Bexar area. So it's a community that we should look out for in the future. And I'm very proud to see them holding their head up high, playing against a powerhouse like Gros Islet over the years in football in St. Lucia.
Yeah, and of course
to play against Gros Islet in the first ever semi-pro match.
Tall order. Gros Islet finished second in group play and third overall last season. Myself and Critic were just saying how, in as much as they've lost a couple of key players, they've been able to add a couple of players like the likes of Rita Stanislas, for example. We always knew the talent of Jalil Evans, but he was sort of on the periphery of the team last season, and then now he's sort of you can see him as the catalyst. He's probably the best player on the park tonight.
Absolutely. Good left footer. And of course, I just spoke of Rita Stanislas from the Dennery area, a player that I've always admired. Very, very talented left footer. Really plays very good football. The team looks very well put together, of course, coached by Francis Babalastic this year, and so expecting a lot in terms of how they fare in this competition. We saw them start very well last season and fell off towards the end, issues of fitness and injuries, and so we're certainly hoping they had a good off-season to really strengthen themselves to play the entire double round robin, and that is a tall ask, so we'll see how they fare towards the end of the season.
And then just before you scoot off, Mr. Minister, last year was unprecedented year for St. Lucia in sports. Almost brought us back to 1987, if you want to say that. St. Lucia Kings coming off there, Julian Alfred, double Olympic medalist, Diamond League winner, and we've seen her start very well for this year. Second fastest time, I believe, in the 100 meters, and the fastest time this year in the 200 meters. Looks like she's on course for the World Championships in Japan. But on the local scene, we've sort of seen a mini revival in athletics. There have been a plethora of athletics meets during the season. Of course, last year we saw the revamping of Island Champs, and this year again, athletics.
Absolutely.
What's in anything addition in store for athletics?
Well, athletics requires facilities. Again, we've had that focus on facilities in one of the facilities. Athletics very, very early in terms of the grassroots, the Cuthbert Modest of the world, identifying talent. Area, the Leon Hess and nurturing this venue. We really need a facility of having a facility that is a 400-meter
a synthetic track. Yeah.
Up north, I think that is very, very, very well needed. We have been having discussions about it, and of course, the timeline, the costing, and all of that is being done right now in terms of identifying that area, and that is something we can look forward to very early on in our second term as a government in terms of getting that venue. But I will say we have a lot of talented athletes in St. Lucia, male and female, but more so female athletes, and we're looking forward to nurturing them and ensuring that we have a good 4x1 structure for the next Olympic in the women's event, and we can look forward to other athletes being developed throughout the country as well.
All right, Mr. Minister, thank you very much. I know You miss holding onto the microphone.
That job was a sweet job.
Yeah, but it's time to pass the ball over to the critic. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. To you guys. Doing a marvelous job.
It's the Minister for Youth Development and Sports, the Honorable Kenson Casimir, as I'm rejoined by my partner in crime. Legal crime. Is there any such thing as legal crime?
Yeah, anytime it involves a critic is legality.
All right, okay, we're good.
Legality.
So,
a little shade on the opening night where we see players getting emotions, getting better of them, and young players need to understand the league. This is a semi-pro league. This is not a league, by the wayside, and discipline has to be paramount. I understand, yes, you're playing, and of course, cards will be dished out, tackles will, but some of the cards, Eli, or some of the tackling are senseless. So I want players to take note of that. This is not the image that we want to portray. This is the opening night. We have had some good football being played, some good goals have been scored as well, but maintain your discipline.
Yeah, and Rafael Joseph substituted out of the game. Did very well for Gros Islet. Did very well for Gros Islet during the course of the match. He was one of those in the battle. And even down to 10 men, Gros Islet look like they are well positioned to see this one out.
Yeah, indeed. I think Gros Islet really exhibit what we expect of them last season. I mean, it wasn't much of a dull season per se for them in the opening. We know the quality, and tonight they're clearly showing that they reckon with. We have some players out, but the players who have come in have shown their prowess. That Gros Islet is not going to be taken lightly this campaign.
Yeah, we're now into the first minute of 3 added on by Renly Napoleon, the man in the middle. And Gros Islet will be looking to just hold on to the ball right now, not push the envelope too much. Of course, they're down a man, up 3 goals, and they want to see this one out without any sort of injury or incident.
Yes, and also you have players like Jalil, those players are already out and wrapped in cotton wool for the next fixture. So all is well despite the red card situation for Gros Islet. I guess that is going to be dished out in the coming days of which fixtures are going to follow. But Gros Islet continue with their possession, making raids in field. We see Aaron, a former national player, tricky customer as well.
I believe he was in the squad that went across the Curacao. Aaron Richard,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah. But he's a very good player, very talented player. Speedy, he has a lot of trickery, and he can kick the football as well. Not much time left on the clock, Eli. Can we say we had a successful opening day for?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a good opener. We saw a lot of goals. This is what you want to see. 3-1 Marsha over Labrie in the first encounter. And I'm just trying to check out the fixtures. The next set of fixtures will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here at the Binduville Park. The under 20 will be taking on Ancillary. The under 20 added to tier 2, of course, in preparation for their coming national tournament. So they'll be taking on Ancillary. And in the second match of the encounter, also in tier 2, Babono, they'll be taking on Roseau. Right, and of course, the action will continue on the 27th. That's Friday, 7 p.m. Monrepo will come up against Vieux Fort North. followed by Miku versus Deriso at 9 p.m. Alright, so lots more football on the cards as we sign off at the Amendoville Park. 3-0 in favor of Gros Islet. Of course, Gros Islet and Masha now sit atop of the respective tables, but it's only the first couple of fixtures. Of course, the rest of round 1 in both tier 2 or the premier, or sorry, the super, and tier 1, which is the premier, is going to be completed come this weekend right here at the Mindofile Park.
All right, good. So, hope our fans enjoy, like Eli mentioned, all over, and it was goals galore on the opening night. So we're looking forward to more of this, and of course the teams will go back to the various camps for training, for recuperation, work on some strategies. We'll look at what some teams brought into play. So there's a lot to happen. A lot's going to be happening in the coming fixtures. Stay glued to social media. Follow the pages so you can get information as they come in. Eli.
Yeah.
Now, once again, always a pleasure working with you, and I hope we can continue this combination.
Of course. Before we sign off, let me just acknowledge their sponsors: Government of St. Lucia, that's the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. The St. Lucia Football Association, Inc., National Lotteries Authority, Invest St. Lucia, Auto Shop St. Lucia, Agents for Brothers Cider, the Bank of St. Lucia Limited, Unicoma Courts, and ES Productions. Elijah Williams, tennis in Glasgow, we're out.
Feel the thunder of the pitch, the roar of the crowd, and witness the rising of our nation. St. Lucia, this is the Semi-Professional Football League Season 2. 2 epic tournaments, 143 electrifying matches, 10 venues, 1 island, 1 heartbeat. From June to December 2025, 20 district football leagues will face off. Every match is a battle, every goal is a statement, and every fan is part of the legacy. Who will rise to victory? Play your schedule and be part of history. Visit semiprofootballleague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for full match fixtures, live coverage, updates, and behind the scenes access. This is our season where passion lives and purpose leads.
This is a beautiful game and this is what we love. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League.
Leveraging football to transform lives.
Dream big, make it your own. Home Sweet gets you any style of home. Be yourself saying home sweet home with a home sweet mortgage. You are number one. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Act now and you won't regret it. POSL. Bank of St. Lucia's enhanced Home Sweet mortgages are designed around you. Home Flex, a home equity line of credit. Home Quest, for professionals building new dreams. And Home Switch, time to bring your mortgage home to us. Home Sweet mortgages, make it your own. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. POSL. For more information, call 456-6999.